Hey, welcome to part 14 of Turning Pipe Dreams into Reality, um, where we're going through chapters in a book on Eat That Frog, motivating and we're currently on the chapter of motivating yourself into action. This is like an awesome chapter. This is probably one of the most impactful chapters I've had all my life so far. Um, it's like one of the highest. So let me just give you guys a couple goal updates. So I recently posted about launching this launching this email campaign, which is like the launch of the new company. Um, we have not launched yet. Uh, it's kind of crazy because I've been talking to people for like last like 2-3 months, and like half the people are like, yeah, this is never going to happen and stuff like that. And it's nice because originally at the beginning I felt like there was no end possible too. So I even involved certain people to make sure that that end happened. Um, one thing that I've discovered about myself in this journey is that if I don't like something, I don't like the way it's going, like I don't do it. Now, that does not mean precisely that that's the key element that, hey, is the problem. It's me understanding that I need to determine what it is that I really want or what I have to have in order for myself to continue. So it's precisely identifying, hey, oh, I don't like the website, so guess what? I'm not going to launch this company, period. So, what is it that I don't like exactly about the website? What is it that's really causing me with the website? Identified, corrected. Um, then we move on to the marketing aspect. And one of the things that just like kept irking me or just like eating at me was um, one of my bases for the organization. I shouldn't say company because it's actually an organization. It's a nonprofit organization. Um, so I'll share more details on in the future. But uh, one of my core values of the company is that we value uh, uh, the automation of things, and that anything that's done needs to be thought with the ideas of scalability and automation. Um, because I really feel like our future and everything that comes next is really going to be determined based on how much we've automated. So whatever I can't automate, someone else will, and eventually undercut me. So, uh, hey buddy, how you doing? Just kitty cat joining. Um, like, hey, I want to be in the video too. Make a bubs, little cute little kitty. Um, so, oh yeah, so recently, so just an update on the email campaign. Um, I currently have it scheduled for next week. Decided to go ahead and delay just a little bit due to MagFest being this weekend. Um, MagFest is a awesome nonprofit organization that basically is there to promote uh, gaming and music. Um, it's a festival for gaming and music, but for everything about gaming, like every aspect, and there's lots, like and the music involved used in games. So, but regarding the marketing side, this is kind of cool. So just to give you an idea of like what control you have out there. So for example, I've got set up a open source free system um, that manages the website, that manages the automation of marketing, and so let me tell you about that system. So I'm going to send out an email. One email will go out to 27,000 people. Um, if someone So it's also like an automated lead scoring system. So the question is, out of these 27,000 people, who is a qualified lead? Who should we really try to sell to? And the idea is that, hey, well, the more they're interacting with you and your organization, um, the the more likely they are to be a possible candidate for your product. So the question is, well, how do you determine this best, and how do you gain more information about them, and then how do you pass it off to like a sales associate or a sales team? Um, and so, what my email marketing automation system does for me currently is this: the email goes out. If someone opens the email I give them an automatic 5 points. When any individual reaches a point level of 75, they've hit tier 1 of being a warm lead or semi-warm lead. If they hit 150 points, they are a warm lead. If they hit 300 points, they're going to be considered like an on-fire lead. Should be contacted that same day. So the 5 points broken in the email. If they download the included asset, the lead magnet, inside the email, they get 10 points. If they visit the homepage of the website, they get 10 points. If they go to a individual product page, they get 10 points, and they also get thrown into, and for each of these, I want to tell you what else is going on in the background as well. Their email campaign that they're associated with changes based on their interactions. So, for example, if you come to the organization's website and you look at 2 different products that we have, what's going to happen is you will be put into a group that contains both of those product groups, so that in the next emails that we send to you, we include a line about those specific products. We say, hey, notice that you checked out blah, blah, blah product. Here's a special, here's an extra document that we don't really offer to the public, but it's about that product exactly. When you come to the website, I can target the homepage to put those products first, to put special content regarding those products, to say the person's name, to say what city they're from, say, hey, what's the weather like in blah, 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 or hey, thanks for checking out product XYZ and ABC. Here's some more information about those products. Pop up some, say, hey, do you want to have a specialized phone call where we can go over and have a demo of product ABC and XYZ? Individual marketing campaigns for those separate products themselves can be done from this ginormous list of people through segmented marketing automation. Now, so it's taken a while to get to where I am today, but that's because I've wanted to have the core goals of my company or organization established and in play. And in order for me to best serve my industry as a nonprofit organization, I need as much of my business automated as possible, so that those individuals that work for the company are working towards the development of new assets for the company on top of what already exists. The idea is, so let me share my business idea with you guys. My goal in business was to create an organization that provided me a steady income of $300,000 a year at for a minimum of 30 years. That was my just baseline goal. And so what I had to think to myself was, and with the category of minimizing the necessity for me and my involvement in said company. So if you build the entire company, you strategize all the products, you're doing like all this work and effort, how can a company sustain for 30 years without a lot of your involvement? I mean, the industry is going to change in 30 years, right? It makes sense. Okay, completely understandable. And how do you fight the concept of, hey, I know machine learning. I know that developers from overseas, India, China, the better organization of resources to build and develop products is going to shift. It's going to change technology, our devices. If you think we're going to be using this in 10 years, you're very confused. You're banking on the wrong, this is not the tech that we're using in 10 years. Your children will laugh at you that you use a cell phone. My children will laugh at me and say, you used to hold something in your hand and you used to have to charge it, and that's kind of like archaic. So it had to survive the changes that occur in time through automation, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Just the fact, we're living in a day and age where this is what I'm going to say. The company I currently work for, and I'm going to tell them, I've actually already shared this in my competitive analysis as well, but basically, if they want to survive in the next 5 years, they can't code. They can't do their main core coding themselves. Like everything that is currently in use online has been coded probably 40, 50 times, like the same thing across multiple languages. So if you're coding something right now, you're doing it wrong. Um, you need to be, now it's cool to code on top of something. It's cool to edit. It's cool to modify existing groups of code. But unless you're doing something that's completely breakthrough that there's nobody else out there doing, I don't know why you're coding. If you're not using like some point-and-click, easy, simple interface, then you're going in the wrong direction. If you can't learn the technology that you're using in 5 to 10 minutes or from a 30-minute video, you're using the wrong technology, period. Um, and so I'm really going to try to stress that with them and say, hey, hey, I know you guys have, custom coded everything you've done for like a long time. Well, that's a bad idea. Let's stop. Let's go with tried and true. Man, we can spin up products in days versus months. Um, and a lot of what I'm doing is based on this theory and concept of, hey, there's a product out there. It's called Hootsuite. It is a tool that people use to automate posting to social channels. So, for example, I go into my Hootsuite account and I go, hey, here's 5-word subject, here's a description of the subject, here's a link to my website. I hit post, and it posts across 30 different social channels at one time. Or I auto-schedule every single post for the entire year, so that it looks like I'm super active on Facebook and Twitter and everything, but totally not. Like I totally just set up a system to automate all these postings. Um, so Hootsuite offers this. They've got plans that range from I don't know $30 a month to $100 a month, or $200 a month. Um, I bought a system, a pre-programmed system that is everything that Hootsuite does. Um, it even has the built-in payment account functionality, so I can sign people up to use the system. They have completely separate accounts, completely separate billing, and I get paid for it. And I own everything, every aspect of it. Nothing goes into some strange place somewhere else, or I'm not paying someone monthly. I paid $20 for that platform. It was a pain in the ass to set up. Yeah, it took a couple hours. Pain in the ass. But now I got another product that I can offer to my customers. I can sell it to my customers if I wanted to. I can give it to them for free. I can entice them into joining like my other products with it. Um, I mean, it's a valuable product. People are out there right now signing up for Hootsuite all day long, not knowing there's a real cheap option out there that doesn't charge you monthly. Anyways, so that's some of the basis of the business. But I did want to share some other recent success. So, all right, where to start? Oh yeah, so like I've mentioned some of my goals online in the last couple episodes, uh, but I've written a lot of goals. Like I mean, I don't know, like 40, 50. I've revised them a couple times, and so on one of those papers, I had the goal of. So in the book, it's basically saying, hey. And by the way, there's links to purchase this, or if you're just buying shit on Amazon, start by a link below. It shoots me a little bit of cash, like a small percent, like I don't know, 2%, 1%, something like that. But it's cool. Um, but yeah, if you want the book, it's below. There's a workbook too. I'm going to be releasing my workbook on it probably in the next month. I'm doing my own. Basically, it's like a daily schedule based on everything that's in the book, what you would complete based on the book. But anyways, let's see. So, what is Oh, okay. So I had this goal of what would best impact my life. What if something happened right now? What's the easiest, quickest way to best impact my life across the board? And one of the things that came down was, hey, make more money and work remote, work from home. So I got my first. So my goal that I wrote down was to double my income, which means, and this is what it means to me. Like realize this: uh, only apply for jobs that are in the classification of the double the amount of income. So if a job says, hey, we're willing to pay XYZ, we want to interview you. If XYZ is not double my income, that is not a qualified task for me to be doing, period. Is what it is. If you want to make $100,000 a year, you can't apply for an $80,000 a year job. Okay? That's how that works. If you want to make $100,000 a year, you apply for a $100,000 a year job. Period. That's how you get a job, making $100,000 a year. It's not, and that's all it is. Like, realize 100%, I guarantee you, you can play statistics on job hunting. And that statement right there is exactly what it is. If you want to get a job in a field that you may not know anything about, now we're going to minus out some like categories like, hey, doctor, that you have to have a medical degree. On basically 80% of the job, 95, 99% of the jobs that I've had, everything that I've had to do for those job positions, I had to learn from being there, and I couldn't have learned it in school. And so to me, that just goes to show that, hey, it doesn't matter what you currently have, because that's not what that's not what employers mainly are looking for. They're looking for your attitude, your passion, your spirit. They're looking for someone that's going to be excited, that's going to do their best. And that's like 80% of like what your job is, like 20% maybe on your knowledge, or 10%. And repetition gains you that knowledge experience so that you can discuss things. So for example, my first job, I really wasn't qualified. But in going through multiple interviews, I was able to speak at a qualified level, and thus get my foot in the door. And then once my foot was in the door, I worked my ass off, and I cried, and I did whatever I had to do to get to the level, because I believed in myself. I knew I could get to that level. It just may take me some time to do it, and I needed some motivation behind it, like, hey, like $100,000 a year job. So anyhow, one of the current goals was double my income and work remote. That was like, if I could do that, that'd be pretty sweet. That would give me an extra 6 hours a day, less in commuting. It would also, hey buddy, it would also give, so working from home, kids coming soon, that was a big deal for me. Do you just want to like sit on my head, Mr. Master of Things? He's trying to show his dominance over me, I guess. So anyhow, I got my first job offer for, what was it, $70 an hour working remote. Going back and forth when I responded to them this morning. They want to know my experience with a certain online content management system. So here's what I'm gonna do. Online, I'm gonna watch some videos for 30 minutes on that content management system so that I know it. And I'm gonna speak from the perspective of being an expert in the field with that content management system. Because I know myself, I know that I'm capable, because I believe in myself, of learning anything as fast as I need to. And hey, for that $70 an hour job, would I, on my own time, research a little bit more if I needed to? Hells yeah, I would, because that's cool money. But that's not really what I'm after. I'm launching my company next week, so I just need, in order to replace my income, I need 5 clients using my product. In order to double my income, I need 10 clients. So, booyah, we're going to get them 10 clients, and I'm going to say peace to my job. So, anyway, that's where I'm at as far as updating on my personal ambitions and goals. I attribute it fully to, well, people around me, God. I haven't really given him so much credit, but like seriously, there is a force out there. It is definitely greater than us. It definitely has an impact on us. If you talk to me for any period of time, you would know a certain story that an experience that I had, where I can't deny. I just can't. There's no such thing. Like, I mean, there's people out there where hey, they believe something because they're raised that way, or they feel it, or whatever. I had uh, physical beings come at me, attack me, like fully lucid, fully aware, not on drugs, nothing weird, strange. I was hiking in the woods. They uh, and they were big. They came beside me. They reared back. They were about to like claw my eyes out, to eat me or something. Who knows? Um, and this voice, this audible voice came and said, "Be still." And so I stopped instead of continuing walking forward because I was trying. I didn't feel like running was a good option at the time because there was a cliff on one side. These things were definitely, they knew the woods a lot better than I, at least those woods. I wasn't getting anywhere fast, at least not by running. Um, so I heard this voice said, "Be still." And when the voice came, they reared back. They were about to attack me. Uh, a the wind came and circled me and went super fast. It went like whipped around me. It felt as if someone was running that was invisible around in a circle. When that came, like the things got mad and just like lashed and like hit at me, like swinging. But they hit this force field of wind or whatever, and just beat off of it. Um, for the first like 5 minutes or so, like they were just continuously, like they were trying to get in, they were trying to get me. Um, but the it continued and it pushed them back, just like slowly pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing them back. It wasn't until they were like, I'd say like 25 yards, 25 yards away is when they like actually gave up and like dispersed on their own. Um, and it was cool because like it wasn't like a cyclone of wind. It was like I could hear it whip through the woods and run in a circle. Like there's definitely some force, some being that was not, in my eyes, human, uh, or doing things that were supernatural to me. So yeah, and then once that was all gone, and sort of the mission, the reason why I was out there in the woods in the first place was I was going out there to answer a question. I wanted to know if there was a God or not a God, and I wanted to answer it for good, final. Like I didn't want to live my life sitting there thinking there's something out there and being a dumb idiot that's like, you know, doing things a certain way. I didn't want to be good or be this or even think about stuff like that. If there wasn't something out there, and I wanted proof for myself. I wanted to know for sure myself. So I went out there looking for a sign, looking for something that would prove yay or nay. Um, and I got it. I definitely got it. But anyway, so once the wind went away or whatever, um, the voice comes back. And it's the first time I've ever heard a voice where like you can hear your mind talking to you. You can hear, that's just your own feedback or your own. I mean, people believe a lot of things. Could be your spirit, could be, sometimes it says good things, sometimes it says bad things, maybe, or whatever. That's not the voice I'm talking about. This was an audible voice that was outside. It was outside, coming in this way. First time in my life I ever heard something like that. Um, I was I had been for over a week and more than that actually, like I mean months without doing anything of I didn't smoke pot, like anything, period. Like when I was in the woods for that week, I had nuts and berries and just I ate some macaroni and cheese, I drank water, like I wasn't dehydrated, I wasn't um, basically all the things that people would think, hey, she just had some trippy experience or blah blah blah, or was it drugs? Nope, didn't take nothing. Um, and that was also part of the experience was I just stripped myself of everything that I had. Um, I had to release ownership, just everything I owned. In order to find or to get to that point, or I don't know if it was part of it or not, but my own inner voice during that time period told me, said, hey, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that. That's still weighing you down. That's still slowing you down. That's still blocking your ability to communicate to the spiritual realm. So the voice came back after it took care of those things that were around me, and it said, when did you think I wasn't with you? And just personally, like I remember a moment when I was like 4, not 4, I'm sorry, when I was like 6 or 7, and I was like in the woods, and I made a commitment. I made I said prayer. My prayer was I was praying to God. I said, um, I believe you want to do great things with me, and I know that I'm not going to want to do them. And so basically, I know myself, and I know it's not going to happen. So I asked, my prayer was like, drag me kicking and screaming if you have to, but do what it is that you want to do. Don't let go of me. And drag me through. So, so to be in that moment, like, and to hear, this audible voice after it just saved your life, say, hey, when did you think I wasn't with you? Like, I was, I mean, I just broke down. I was bawling in tears because I was like, dang, I'm sitting here like questioning, doubting, coming out here just to find out, and dude's been hanging out with me all along. Um, yeah, so that was definitely a life changing experience. Or you would think it would be a lot more life changing than those actually turn out to be. Um, it's interesting how quickly you could get wrapped up in the world again, or get wrapped up in things going on and forget, and just like not live like you are an empowered being. Um, I believe everyone's empowered. I don't think there's anything majorly special one versus another. Yet in my own mind, I do allow myself to believe such things. So I believe anyone can access all the time, all the different things that are out there. Um, but at the same time, I do personally like to tell myself that I'm special. And I think that's just along the lines of uh, not for a outwardly boasty concept, but just like an inner, because a lot of times I'll do things that are different than some people around me, and just to let me know that that's okay sometimes. Granted, I have been an ass, and I need to identify more readily with those time periods when I'm doing things that are perceived as improper. Just yesterday, just tons of little stuff I do is just ridiculous, and I need to be careful. But so I'm not talking about like it's not a free pass for being an ass. Um, but anyhow, um, yeah. So I definitely believe there's God. He's been hanging out, talking to me, guiding me, doing stuff a lot. I mean, since that one event, like nonstop sent people around me, nonstop. I can't deny it. They sent people that had no. I have to believe 100% are angels because they didn't have the needs and wants of every human I've ever met. Like they weren't selfish. They weren't. Uh, they didn't have the traits and the things they talked about weren't from here. Um, and they've taken me on awesome little adventures, awesome experiences, things that like would blow your mind. Like um, just to name a few. Like one would be I stopped by one time, like complete like I knew the person, but he was semi stranger. Um, Popped up out of the blue when I was doing some research. I was going through philosophy and going through the different religions and doing research. And he popped up and basically telepathy or the ability, is it telepathy? Basically, the ability to communicate without words, uh, fully fluent English, like 100%. It's definitely real. There's those that do it all the time, practice it all the time. Um, yeah, because I had a 30-minute conversation with somebody that was there was no drugs involved, no alcohol, none of that crap. It was mutual, just back and forth. Um, so that was pretty cool. That blew my mind. Um, and lots of little experiences like that. Like instead of sitting there going, "Oh, look, I want to know about quantum physics. This video is really cool by so and so. Man, I wish I could meet him one day. I wish I could talk to him in person." No, the guys that were around me, I would say something like that, and they'd say, "Well, let's talk to him now. Let's talk to him right now," and they would get me to, believe that that was such possible, capable, and someone would knock at the door. Um, Now, it wasn't the guy from the video, but they'd walk in that door. I didn't know him, and then start talking about quantum physics. and it was cool. It was real cool. Uh, so yeah, there's stuff out there. It exists 100% fully. Be aware. All right, I'm off my soapbox. All right, so I really love today's chapter. It's on motivating yourself into action. I think it has to do a lot with like self-talk as well. So let me get started. It is in the compelling zest of high adventure and victory, and of creative action that man finds his supreme joys. So to perform at your best, you must become your own personal cheerleader. You must develop a routine of coaching and encouraging yourself to play at the top of your game. Like, what is positive self-talk? Right there. Most of your emotions, positive or negative, are determined by how you talk to yourself on a minute-to-minute basis. It is not what happens to you, but it's the way that you interpret the things that are happening to you that determine how you feel. Your version of events largely determines whether these events motivate you or demotivate you, whether they energize or de-energize you. So, what that basically said was, if you're passionate about something, like when you lose that energy, that focus, that drive, that passion, it's because of how you interpreted an event regarding that, or around you. Something happened to you, and you interpreted it in a negative light or in some other way that caused you to be de-energized or unmotivated about that project. Happens to me all the time. To keep yourself motivated, you must choose to be a complete optimist. Okay? I'll read that again. To keep yourself motivated, you must resolve to be a complete optimist. Okay, so what does that mean? That just means, hey, I'm going to take a positive high road all the time, in all areas, no matter what. Okay, because that's what, I like to read books. I like to take it to heart. Just, if a word has the ability to get in front of my eyes, I believe that fate put it there. If a person has the ability to speak in front of me, words at me, I believe that in some manner, like, it's the universe talking to me. It's God talking to me. It's telling me something. It's how I take in that information that's important. A lot of times, you'll hear negative. You'll say to me, you debate that and say, hey, well, people say some negative stuff to me, like, I'm supposed to take that as being like legit or real. I consider those moments mirror moments. It means that reality is showing me who I've been to the reality around me. Like, you cannot see something that is negative in this world without being at fault of it yourself. Like, I can only see jealousy because I have known jealousy in myself. So just an example. All right. You must decide to respond positively to the words, actions, and reactions of people and situations around you. You must refuse to let unavoidable difficulties and setbacks of daily life affect your mood or emotions. So, what does that mean? So, I wanted to send these emails out like months ago. Should have. Situations. Like, even in the last week, like, I couldn't get the mail system working. Wouldn't send an email. Even today, like, I've got scheduled emails to go out on Monday, but I haven't got the email system working yet. But do I sound negative about that? No, because I know it's going to be fixed. If I got to do it 5 more times, if I got to rebuild it 5 more times from scratch, if I got to use 5 more systems to do it, I'm going to do it, because my end goal is important enough to me. Like, my ability to be financially independent is important enough to me. My ability to be able to spend time with my 3 newborns and my current daughter is important enough to me. It's worth the time. The ability to spend time with my wife on a full-time basis and explore and play and have my mind fully engaged is important enough to me. Helping my friends and my family and being more involved in their lives is important enough to me. And personally, I just want to have the sense of fulfillment of accomplishing something, because that's important enough to me that I'll go to any length, that I'll do whatever it is I have to do. Now, granted, this book is teaching me that um, I don't have to do as much as I think I actually have to do. I need to focus and hone my talents more, organize and prioritize more, and cut things out. Um, so to continue on in this chapter, one of the subheadings here is controlling your inner dialogue. Your level of self-esteem, how much you like and respect yourself, is central to your levels of motivation and persistence. You should talk to yourself positively all the time to boost your self-esteem. Say, I like myself, over and over until you begin to believe it and behave like a person with a high-performance personality. To keep yourself motivated and to overcome feelings of doubt or fear, continually tell yourself, I can do it. I can do it. When people ask you how you are, always tell them, I feel terrific. No matter how you are feeling at the moment or what is happening in your life, resolve to remain cheerful and upbeat. So there's a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. The last of the human freedoms is to choose one attitude in any given set of circumstances. So it is your last human freedom to choose your attitude for any given set of circumstances. It doesn't mean like you don't have to be upset if somebody cheats on you. It just means that it's your damn choice. What you get upset about, how, what circumstances you allow to make you upset, or what circumstances. See, that's even a negative approach. What circumstances should I not have a positive mental attitude about? There is some light in every tunnel. Refuse to complain about your problems. Keep them to yourself. So this is by humorist Ed Foreman. It says, you should never share your problems with others because 80% of the people don't care about them anyway. And the other 20% are glad that you have them in the first place. So you hear that? 80-20 rule applied to you sharing your problems. 80% don't bloody care. So stop sharing your problems with people because nobody bloody cares. The other 20%, they're happy to hear that you have problems. So stop sharing negative news. Nobody fucking cares. Develop a positive mental attitude is the next section here. This one guy, he determined that optimism is the most important quality you can develop for personal and professional success and happiness. Optimistic people seem to be more effective in almost every area of their life. Turns out that optimists have 4 special behaviors, all learned through practice and repetition. So basically, successful people have 4 special things that they only gain from practice and repetition. First is optimists look for the good in every situation, looking for the silver lining. No matter what goes wrong, you're looking for the good or benefit. And believe me, we can always find it. Like I do that, and I can always find it. Second, optimists always seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. Like every difficulty or setback, like this marketing thing, it gave me the opportunity to step back and reevaluate what system I was using for my marketing. And instead, I had put in place a much more powerful system that automates a lot of the tasks. Like, I'm so happy that I had that setback because it enabled me to do so much more. Third, optimists look for the solution to every problem. Okay, this is something cool, and I don't even think they mentioned it in this book. You could choose to believe this, you could choose not to. This is true, though. Every problem has a solution. Program your mind to believe that it can figure out any problem all the time. Once you've set that thought process in motion, your machine of a mind can process and do anything. Over the past 2 years, that's been my main role at my job is just uh, solving random problems. Doesn't matter what the problem is, what's the problem, what's going on. And yeah, that's the job offer that came in, is on being a business analyst, analyzing situations, coming up with solutions. So that's one of the things that optimists have is, hey, become a solutionist, become someone who is focused on, number one, realizing that nothing is impossible, and realizing that there's a solution for every problem, and three, that you can find that solution yourself, and you can find it quickly. Believe those three things, and you will crank out solutions to everything. Snappy. Fourth, optimists think and talk continually about their goals. So that's something that I don't do as much as I need to. I need to start doing that more. So I am still shooting for having that mansion that's on top of that mountain, and I've got like a month or two to get it in my goal time frame. It's a beautiful place. Like I can see it now. I can see friends and family members living in houses that are connected to the main house. I can see riding around the mountain on four-wheelers, even riding around on a horse. It's going to be beautiful to begin building a community. I really think that in order for us to thrive, we need to connect more with our communities. We need to be less separated. The more that we are segregated as that was great, Kitty. The more that we are separated in these individual houses, like we're sold this mentality of, hey, get your own